Hi everyone. Today I would like to talk to you about buying a home in Texas. In working with buyers, both first-time buyers and experienced buyers, I am often asked about the process. I would like to outline this for you. First, have a pre-approval letter or proof of funds ready. Sellers and their realtors will not accept an offer without one of these. Second, expect to pay earnest money and option fee upon execution of the contract, meaning when your offer is accepted and signed by the seller. Both of these fees are due within 3 days of the execution date of the contract, and without the earnest money, the seller can terminate the contract, and without the option fee, you do not have an option. Earnest money is typically 1% of the sales price, and option fees vary anywhere between a few $100s or more. Your realtor can best advise you on the amounts. Earnest money is refundable to the buyer if the buyer terminates the contract within the terms of the contract. Option fees are not refundable, but both of these will apply towards the purchase of the home if you complete the purchase. Third, speaking of option fee, what is it for? The option period. This is a time frame that is typically between a few days and 10 days. It is negotiable. It is during this time in which you are to complete inspections on the home and negotiate repairs. It does allow the buyer the unrestricted right to terminate. If repairs cannot be negotiated, the buyer can terminate. Or if the buyer finds out something about the house during inspections that they no longer would want to buy the house, they can terminate the contract. Fourth, financing days. If you are obtaining financing, there is a document that defines the terms of your financing and allows you a number of days to advise the seller if you cannot obtain financing. This time frame is typically between 10 to 21 days. You need to work closely with your lender to be sure of your financing before this time frame ends. If it does end and you cannot obtain financing and have not notified the seller by terminating the contract, your earnest money is at risk. 5. Title insurance is an insurance policy issued by the title company guaranteeing free title and covering many things in regards to the title of the home. This policy is typically paid for by the seller, although it is negotiable. It is based on the home sales price, and it is same for all title companies as it is governed by the State Board of Insurance. An example of title insurance would be for a $500,000 property. The cost is currently $2,940. For a home sold at $1 million, the price is $5,575. 6. Surveys. We quite often will have a survey from the seller that we will use along with an affidavit that indicates if the seller has made any changes to the property that will affect the survey. If we do not have an existing survey, a new one will be needed unless you are a cash buyer, and then it is your choice if you would like to obtain a survey. Always a good idea. The cost of a survey can be anywhere from around $400 to $500 or more, depending on the property. 7. Closing dates are commonly 30 days from the contract, but they can be as short as 3 to 4 days for a cash transaction, or as long as the buyer and seller agree to. This often will depend on both parties' circumstances. 8. Closing statements are what a title company will provide once a property is ready to close. These statements will include all the debits and credits for the transaction, which will tell the buyer the amount of funds required for closing. These funds can either be wired to the title company or a cashier's check brought to closing. If wired, always be sure to obtain wiring instructions directly from the title company and confirm these verbally with them. Many title companies offer secure ways to provide these instructions to you since wire fraud is rampant at this time. Always check with the title company on what they will accept as well. There are many other details to making an offer, executing a contract, completing inspections, and going from escrow to closing. And a realtor is your best source to guide you through this process. Be sure you utilize a realtor who represents you to ensure your best interests are considered. Thank you for joining us today. We hope that you find this helpful, and we look forward to seeing you again in the near future.